Hi, and welcome to Star Lighthouse. I'm Prashant, and this is weekly reading for Sun, Moon, Venus rising in Taurus. This is a general read, so please take all the messages that resonate with you and leave everything else behind. And if this reading does connect with you, there is an extended to it. The link for that extension is below in the description box. So Taurus, how are you doing? How was your first week of December? Hopefully you get into some holiday spirit. Maybe able to connect to family, friends. Just sharing whatever goodness came to you this year. Hopefully this year was not that hard on you, but if it was, maybe able to find some listening ear for your emotions. Alright, Taurus, let's focus on the question, the thought, the feeling in your mind that brought you to this reading. Take a deep breath. Exhale and let everything else go. Just that question that's on your mind. Let's see if this reading has an answer for you. You're looking for 9 of Chalices. It's a lot of self-happiness, feeling happy about who you are. It's like floating in the air like a ballerina. It's like the inner contentment gives you, like inner validation gives you a lot of that confidence to try and explore outside of who you are. So a lot of self-love, self-confidence, self-happiness being blocked by 6 of Chalices. So reminiscent about a past relation, something that might have been released, and that probably is giving you the airiness to fly and soar. So you might have had released some relationship or some previous bondage that now, after like letting it go, a few weeks of letting it go, now you're feeling the exuberance of the freedom that you're experiencing. But at the same time, you're reminiscing about that past. So the more you keep releasing it, the more you will feel your airy self. Past situations, Page of Chalices. Another card that seemed like looking outwards for emotional support, and that probably is being let go of. Instead of looking outside for emotional support or relationship, you're now looking inwards. And because you're letting that behavior go, it could also be making you realize some of the relationships in the past that were unhealthy attachments. And now because you're letting that go, that's where you're reminiscing about the memories about those relationships. It's okay to do that, but delving or living in those memories forever might put you into loops that you unconsciously might not be aware of. Unconscious loops that you would not be aware of, and you don't want to have that to happen. It's what I mean by that is because you're reminiscing about that old relationship, which either is done or will be done. You might seek out, if you keep living that relationship, you might seek out the same person or similar looking person again. And it's your mind's own way of trying to recreate that memory. But it didn't work for a specific reason, and until you understand that, you're doomed to repeat that thing. So rather than putting that expectation of emotional support outward, you're moving into a right direction of understanding your self-power, self-growth, self-happiness. living in these old memories would only stop your further progress towards your inner happiness, inner contentment. Mind's ambition, magician, heart's desire, Nine of Wands. So Nine of Wands is a card like it shows, it's like an expression of like you have abundance but you're fatigued too. And this fatigueness is possibly a result of you in the past not fully believing in your true power, in your true self. The magician is pointing towards that you in yourself have this, because of your own inner validation, inner strength, you're believing in your own inner bull that could stay grounded, like its foots are grounded, but at the same time its mind and heart are like up in the air, and it can feel both air and earth, and that allows it to channel its power, become this magical self that can create abundance out of this exhaustion, rather with ease. And seemingly you putting outwards the expectation for emotional support created this mindset within you that didn't allow you to fully express who you are. And it could have also allowed other people who were attached to you to unconsciously have taken advantage of you, in terms of they understood you had a magical self, but you kind of lacked the confidence behind it. Because you lacked the confidence behind it, they, because of their networks or the opportunities available to them, could use your emotional intellect or your general wisdom for free for their own success, without them letting you understand how truly powerful, magical you are. So it's very important, imperative in this moment that you release those old relationships and also old ways of approaching life where you put in too much hard work for less or like extremely invaluable result. Let's reverse that way and put little to no effort like a magician and create abundance because you understand how to make illusions. And holding on to the old ways where you are looking for emotional attachment outwards, it would always make you look towards those people for validation too. And to be a magician, you have to release the idea that someone else needs to validate you. The only person who can validate you is you yourself. You have to understand where your efforts are put in, what's the true value of those efforts, rather than getting undervalued, rather than getting abused by people who understand how to take advantage of situation. Not letting us getting involved in any sort of negative or energy sucking environment. That can only be possible once you start learning how to validate your own self. You don't seek that outwards. And when you're validating your own self, it's extremely important that you stay grounded. You truly understand the data points that you're trying to gather in a situation and how your improvements at every level looks like. So you have to truly stay grounded. At the same time, you have to understand how to release the past for your mind and heart to feel the airiness. Future situations, devil energy. So either you would get stuck in that fear or you will work it out. So devil it always represents a demon that we create in our own mind. It's the idea is that, so in the devil card you have shadow on both sides being bondage by chains. It's like we somehow found a way to capture our own mind and bind it with chains of fear. Again, this comes into picture when we fail to understand how to validate ourselves. So the mind is clouded by underconfidence, the mind is constantly clouded by this chaos, lack of belief, judging ourselves, and then seeking answers or help. Even if it's like as simple as this, even if you understand what to do on a daily basis, you just need someone else validation that you should do that, or that you should actually take care of yourself. You need someone else's validation for that. And just because you put that validation outwards, that the other person would support that you need to take care of yourself, that by itself gives the other person an advantage over you by them allowing you to control your life for them, because you're seeking their validation for even daily activities to how to take care of yourself. Any sort of validation put outwards would allow the other person to become this dominant personality. Essentially, eventually, their perception, their ideas, their shadows would become your own devil. You are choosing demons by creating them. By creating them by in your own brain, and you're choosing to stay with them then. So the idea of devil over here is you still sticking to the external validation or external emotional support rather than providing that to yourself. And until you reach a stage where you can truly validate your own self, only then you will believe that your magical powers in terms of your efforts have way more value than what you have been previously told to. And that was possible because you didn't believe in yourself previously and you seek validation outwards, and outward validation that kept telling you that what your incorrect value was, and you started believing that thing. It's like you time and again were kept being shown the same cards, and you started believing that they actually are your true cards, which is incorrect. Suggested advice: Knight of Wands. In context for this advice, Knight of Chalices. Both the cards are pointing towards taking action with complete self-awareness for your own personal benefits and ambitions. At times, we feel extremely guilty when we have peers or we have family members who might not possess the same abilities that we have, in a sense that we might be more instinctive, reflexive than them, and they don't truly have the same abilities. Because they don't, they try to push your abilities down, try to undervalue them. The reason they get undervalued is because you feel guilty. You feel guilty to express those abilities in front of them or people outside. You feel guilty that you are more stronger, you're more powerful than these people that you grew up with. Letting go of that guilt is very important, and it's very important to understand, because you have those abilities. Not only you owe it to express it to the world, but it's also important that you owe it to yourself to fulfill your ambitions, to fulfill the desires, become completely self-aware, and that self-awareness would allow you to take actions for your own ambitions. A happy person, someone who is abundant enough, only then you can take care of people around. And if somebody stops you from getting to that abundance, they are only jealous. And that's where it's at times really hard to even see that jealousy, because you have been so intertwined in their validation that you cannot even see their jealousy, and it's literally hidden in plain sight. People who you're asking for validation, they truly, if they fear your abilities or if they are jealous of your abilities for whatever reason, for that you're stronger, you're more abundant than them, or you're more instinctive than them, they will try to devise these verbal games, especially when you seek their emotional support or emotional validation. They would devise these verbal games, passive aggressive games, for you not to able to see their hidden jealousy, which once you go away from the validation receiving from them, you will see that jealousy like literally in plain sight. So releasing that is very important. That's part of the devil that's bonding you. Negative people using verbal mind games to bind you down so that you cannot truly express yourself, chase your dreams and ambitions. Hopes and fears, fortitude, strength, and potential outcome. Nine of Swords. So it seems like you are still in some sort of nightmarish mode. So one way of truly understanding nightmares is that your subconscious, your dream state is where your mind and heart truly connect to each other. They tell each other heart about how it's feeling, and mind what it truly wants, and based on that they come up with dreams. Now when you are stuck with devils, when you are bondage by your own demons, your mind is filled with your own evil. See how in this Nine of Swords there is an evil floating over you while you're dreaming. The nightmares are basically a reverse scenario where your heart is completely under attack. The feelings are not being internal feelings because of external validation. Now you are kind of living someone else's perception, and that is truly disjoined from how your heart feels. Because of that disjointment, and mind also not being able to reach its dreams or even able to understand its dreams, being in a conflict. Do I keep asking the other person for validation, or should I finally start trusting my instincts? Should I completely let go of guilt and fully believe that my ambitions deserve my full focus? Once you get out of that conflict, you will release these nightmares. But these nightmares in this moment are trying to tell you that your mind and heart are not truly happy or content. They are they're cooking up with these nightmarish dreams to make you aware that you are not happy. You need to really release that old baggage, and especially seeking out external support, external emotional support, external emotional validation. That behavior has to be stopped. Being stuck and constantly reliving that past is only blocking your movement forward. It's also creating lack of your own self-trust. And without self-trust, becoming this magician, understanding how truly valuable your strength, your power, your abilities are. Understanding that your ambitions deserve your full focus, your full efforts. Releasing these bondages is truly important for you to let go of this devil and stop living these nightmares that you're living right now. Nightmares, insomnia even makes it further harder for us to function on daily basis, and that further creates this spin cycle where then you further require someone else's support because you cannot take care of yourself. That's going back to where I previously said that even if you need validation for how to take care of yourself on a daily basis, you are creating so much of lack of self-trust. If you need daily appreciation for how your day has gone, you are automatically giving the other person heavy advantage over your day, your moods, your emotions of your day. And giving that control only makes them eventually create this fearful bondage of your own self inside your own head, making you create your own demons. So for you to stop living these nightmares, you have to. It's really imperative that you start trusting yourself and stop seeking external validation. So one of the suggestions that I can give for stop seeking external validation is that whenever you have any sort of doubt in your mind, whenever you find these old memories resurfacing, you trust your first feeling that shows up. Believing that your first feeling and thought is truly who you are allows your mind to regain that self-confidence and self-trust. The more you start trusting yourself, the more you start self-validating, seeking emotional support outside becomes almost insignificant as a requirement. Seeking that emotional validation outside, it becomes like unnecessary, in fact. So getting to self-trust, getting to self-confidence, start believing, start understanding that the first thought, feeling that comes to your mind in any situation is truly what you want to do. Start trusting that gut, start trusting that intuition. And start understanding why you're facing these nightmares. Understanding those nightmares, maybe writing even them down, will allow your mind to process them on conscious basis and understand what it needs to do to improve itself. Taurus, I hope you can find a way out of these nightmares. You can start trusting your intuition. You can release external validation. Stop living those nightmares. If this reading connected with you, Taurus, there is an extended to it. In the extended, I would further look at how to get away from the devil, how to release these nightmares, messages from the oracle, and timing related to if there's sort of any opportunity that will allow you to get past that devil. All of that is in the extended. Link for that is below in the description box. Taurus, I hope you liked the reading, and if you did, please do like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining me, and have an amazing day.